My name is Paulina Korobkiewicz. I'm a Polish photographer based in London. For the last 18 months, I have been working on a residency initiated by the University of Birmingham, Nottingham Trent University and Centrala. I have been working between Hyson Green and West Bromwich, trying to create a portrait of those two places, focusing on the visibility of migrant communities, but also tracing the everyday paths of migrants, trying to portray certain elements of, well, the visibility of those communities within the public space. But also parallel to my residency, there was a photography club running in both locations. I wasn't running the club, but I was visiting as a participant, as an observer, trying to learn more about those places, but also find people who could tell me more about them. Some participants showed very strong interest in visual storytelling, and with those participants we worked quite closely throughout my residency. We were sharing experiences, developing the projects together. These are the projects that you can see in the show. So each project is very unique. All of the artists have different approaches. We have collage works, we have portraits, we have images of everyday items found inside homes. I was coming to those places as an outsider, focusing on the outside, focusing on the public space, and the people who I met introduce those areas, those spaces as their home. So they bring the insider perspective to the project, sharing experience, talking about those places, their home, from the perspective of an insider. It's been a brilliant opportunity to collaborate with great local photographers, with photographers that I met in those two areas. And I think together, under the umbrella of the theme of home, we try to create a contemporary portrait of those migrant communities, of those two really interesting, special places. And hopefully the audience will feel inspired.
Probably most emotionally evocative stuff from me actually came from some of the participants in the Central European Photography Club, and particularly the work around bringing up a child in a country different from the one that you grew up in. So yeah, that was interesting.
Another thing that struck me was that the memory of food becomes something like nostalgia, and it's not the food that feeds the body, it's the food that feeds the soul through the colors, through the memory of the smell of the things.
I start to look more into it, that we're just all different people coming from the same, coming from different background, but we're the same people with the same thing, and just trying to get a better life, really.
Yeah, because I felt like everybody, we focus on kind of like different things, but also like the similar theme, but in many different ways. Like Ishmael, he was documenting like people, like migrants from different countries, and Martin was focusing on the area, and Sylvia was like about family, about her daughter and her growth, and it's just like different kind of perspective about migration and perspective about home, I guess. And I think it's really beautiful to see them all together.
Yeah, I thought it was so like welcoming, and I really liked how natural and human all the photos are. I especially really liked some of Yusi's work. I really like the orange peels, because we both said we were talking about it together, and like you could smell the orange. Obviously you can't, but it feels like you can, and it's so human. Like just seeing like the small pieces put together, and all the things that her grandparents must have come from China and brought to England, like just such small human things like the iron. What else was there? There's the orange peels, there was like little water bottles full of things. It's just so human, and I think that's what I liked most about it.
I would say that the show reminds me of my childhood, and also I think it's a great visual representation what it is like to live in Birmingham as a Polish immigrant to the UK.
Well, I was immediately pleased to see some photography actually in these gallery settings because it's something that I particularly like for documentary value, and I have an interest in urban fabrics as well, and seeing that on the walls initially was a kind of quite exciting thing for me. Well, I found it fascinating that the photography was actually done by members of the communities that were being documented, if you can phrase it like that, because that's something that I haven't seen much, particularly in, again, these sorts of environments, and it shows, the subject matter of the photograph shows what's interesting to them, what they find value in. And it was fascinating to see in stock rooms, things like this, so places that are a kind of quite quotidian but still have meaning for people in those communities.
So I work in charity retail, and I have a lot of refugees like that come to my shop to volunteer when they're trying to get back on their feet and like integrate back into society here. And I don't really think about art very much in that sense, because it's more just about helping them get confidence and like their language and stuff. So it's nice to see an art perspective, which has made me think maybe that would be good for something that I can do at my works, like bring art to the table somehow.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the exhibition. I think, being able to see people and how that, like, in sort of the culture and community that they built within the UK is really cool. How that relates to my migration experience, I think I've been really lucky because I was able to sort of join my partner's community, like meet her friends and her family, and they've been very welcoming. But otherwise, I think it would make sense to sort of build a community if you migrated with family and or finding that sense of belonging within where you're living within your city is really great. And I think the exhibition sort of showed that and showed how people live. Yeah, and I really like that.
Yeah, and I also feel like this is a very intimate exhibition that you see a lot of objects and people's homes, and also how they're cherished ones. Those are photographed together with the landscapes. So it's very intimate and also quite cosmopolitan. It's very diverse. We got Polish, and we also got Chinese and Pakistani, this kind of different backgrounds together.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. It's kind of reflected in the attendance tonight. People of all different cultures, so it kind of sort of mirrors back to you, everybody's kind of shared experience and sort of that idea that sort of everybody is is an immigrant of some sort, you know what I mean? And it's kind of it's a very kind of, I don't know what the word is, intuitive sort of experience.
I kind of approach immigration as a process of living and then settling in and just joining a new community. I remember one title of several photographs called a suitcase. I think that really captured the essence of this exhibition for me. So you put something in your suitcase to leave as well as to arrive.
I think we tend to see things in a stereotypical manner, and we tend to put people in boxes and expect people from certain communities to look or act or do things in a certain way. But you see them, all of these different communities together in the same exhibition, and they're just like you, really, in a way. Maybe it sounds a little bit cliche, but yeah, these very personal photographs just at home, at very comfortable environments, make you think that's just how my home would look like.
Yes. Through this exhibition, I kind of realized it is through this little step and little actions and little movements that you are kind of creating your own history of immigration. Yeah.
Photographs show this diversity of people doing their daily things, which is quite beautiful. To be honest, for me, as someone who moved in Birmingham to the UK a couple of years ago, I see that diversity everywhere.
I'm very proud and I'm glad that I photograph my story in UK, because I don't know how long we will be here and how our life will be in the future. So this is some kind of diary. Yeah, this is my diary. So I'm very happy
Oh, it's just great to see all the work come together. I think what's really special is that we all created a portrait of these areas under the theme of home. And what's important for me is that all of the stories, all of the narratives document the experience of building a home, of finding a home away from your place of origin. So the exhibition, the title Homeland, serves as a sort of umbrella for all these projects to come together from all the different perspectives, for whom the context of post-socialist Britain, of post-socialist experience is of relevance.
It was almost like a reset to go, actually, I need to put myself in other people's shoes a lot more. I think I come in like I've got a job to do, I don't have much time. I don't have very much time with family sometimes, and I wish I had more. And it's those spaces where people tell me more about their culture and background. There needs to be more. Like, there needs to be more. There's not enough. That's what's so annoying about it. But yeah, if there was, I'd come to. So yeah, thank you very much.